Hello everyone, Cedar here, and I'm going to share with you how I tone my canvases. Now, today I'm using Gamblin's Fast Matte Transparent Earth Red as my color that I'm using to tone the canvas, and then mixed with Gamblin's Galkid Light Oil Medium. And I'm applying this mixture with a large bristle brush, just a cheapy regular brush, and I have a little jar lid to hold my oil. And what I'm doing is I'm mixing the paint with the oil on a paper palette here. Pretty simple. So what I'm doing is I'm making a very thin mixture. So this is mostly oil with just a tiny bit of color mixed in. And if you wanted an even thinner glaze, you could also add some solvent to your oil and paint mixture and adjust it until you get the effect you want. But in my case, I want a pretty intense dark color here. You could make it much more subtle if you chose to. Now I'm using a brush because I am actually wanting this uneven effect with lighter and darker areas and visible brush strokes. But if you want something more subtle and even, you can use a rag or a paper towel to wipe the color on and then blend it until it looks smooth. But I'm going for the rough look here. Now, this is not actually a canvas. This is wood, a wood panel. It's actually called gesso board. You can buy them ready-made. Look it up, they're great. I like it because they have, you can't see here, but they have 2-inch deep sides on the edges, which I'm also going to put the color on the edges and bring my painting around the edges. So look up gesso board. It's G-E-S-S-O-B-O-R-D for a different feeling. It's smoother than canvas. Doesn't have the same tooth. Now, the reason why people tone a canvas, this is really just the first layer of paint that you'll then build up more layers on top of when you start your painting. And it's kind of a way of cheating. It makes it much easier to create unity throughout your painting rather than if you start with just a white canvas, then you're having to mix the colors and match them to create that unity as you're painting. When you do it this way, you have that unity throughout when you're starting the painting, and it kind of gives you just a good starting point. And it's fun because you can choose to leave some of this color peeking through your painting in certain spots rather than covering it all up, and then that creates a unified tone throughout the whole painting. So the reason why I am using the Gamblin Fast Matte paint is it dries very quickly. It dries in 24 hours or less, which allows you to go straight into the painting after letting it dry overnight. And that's really nice. If you were using regular oil paint that's not designed to dry this quickly, you'd have to wait until it's totally dry before you start your painting, which would still only take a few days. So it's not that much quicker. It's still, oil paint is a slow process regardless, but 24 hours is pretty good between layers. Now this takes a few minutes to tone such a large canvas. This one is 36-inch square, so it's 3 feet by 3 feet, and that's pretty big. And if you're doing a small one, you could do this like in a few seconds. So this is taking, maybe 10 minutes, which is pretty easy step. So if you've never toned a canvas before, it's not a big commitment. It's a fun experiment if you want to try it. And I'm choosing to do this in an earth tone. This transparent earth red is kind of like a burnt sienna color. So if you have burnt sienna, it's about the same color as that. And people usually choose an earthy tone to tone the canvas because it's a neutral and you can paint almost any color over it, and keep it as a good ground. But depending on whatever your process is and whatever you're going for, you could tone your canvas with any color. You could do blue or pink or any color that you like. In the past, I've painted portraits of people and used like a skin color as my base, and that makes it a lot easier to create that even skin tone throughout the person's face. This one is going to be one of my cosmic landscapes. You'll see it's going to have a tree and ground and then sky. So when I paint the sky, it'll be totally different from this color, but I'm predicting a lot of this brown color will come through in the ground and the tree. So this is not an exact science, and you can see here it's a pretty nice result. It looks like almost like an abstract painting on its own, and that's a good base, good start for a painting.